Hey, how's it going, guys, and welcome back to Monster Tamer News, the segment on this channel where we go over the past week's occurrences in the world of monster taming. Now, this week we have some really interesting developments and some really exciting stuff overall. We got No Man's Sky integrating various monster taming elements to their game, an upcoming Monster Hunter event which will include information about Monster Hunter stories, to which I'm personally really excited for, and even more monster taming games to add to the channel. Honestly, at this point, monster taming games are popping up everywhere, and it's really nice to see the genre grow. Anyways, as for the usual, sit back, relax, and let's dive right in. Okay, so we're going to start things off with some Skyclimber news, and there's no shortage of that this week. We got some highlights from the Kickstarter, which include a brand new extended trailer that showcases the game's battles between dynasties, which I'm assuming is also sort of a teaser for the RTS gameplay, which is confirmed. We specifically get to see the Shoi for the first time, which is looking really interesting, as well as the Void, who are corrupting the world. We do know that each dynasty will have an opposing non-playable enemy dynasty, so I'm sure this is just a tip of the iceberg as far as that goes. As of the time of recording this video, the game is currently at $175,000 USD raised on its Kickstarter, but again, remember, I'm recording this before this video comes out, so it's likely more than that by now. It did reach its $150,000 stretch goal, that being a 5th class, aka the Warg, a shape-shifting class that'll take advantage of the various Sentius you've captured. For more information on this class and many more, I did upload a video yesterday, which I definitely recommend checking out. It covers all that stuff and the potential for more as well, so definitely check it out. The next stretch goal in line is the 4th Dynasty for $250,000 USD, which I think we'll definitely hit by the end of this week. Speaking of Kickstarters, we are in the final days of the Overmagicka Kickstarter, which has already managed to raise over 200,000 euros for its campaign. We've also been given the last 2 stretch goals that are remaining to be unlocked, and the first being the ability to bring companions with you on blob expeditions. That's for $210,000, and in my opinion, the most interesting of the bunch is the Blob Fusion for 250,000 euros. I do plan on putting a video together about what the crossbreeding system entails and how I think that could differ from Fusion, so definitely look forward to that later this week. I do think that there's a good chance we will hit the final stretch goal, and honestly, even if we don't, Claudia's had such an amazing campaign, and it's great to see a developer who's very passionate about their work gaining so much momentum, so definitely congratulations to Claudia for that. We've got a brand new update for Adore, a monster taming roguelite that if you have seen my various videos playing the game, you'll know that my opinion of it is basically that this is a very dangerously addictive game. I can't recommend it enough. But anyways, the update will include a new world map, the ability to catch legendary creatures, new items, 3 new human bosses, a new quest system, and more. The developers over at Cadabra Games have also stated that they want to add more permanent progression aspects to their game, such as permanent unlockables for their monsters, which will make the game more of a roguelite than a roguelike, which I personally think is a really good idea. At least for me, I enjoy being able to feel a sense of progression after playing, as opposed to when I die, I just lose everything. That is just one man's opinion though, so let me know what you think about this in the comments. Expect the video playing through the newest update very soon. We got some Laxidaze news this week, which is always great. The devs came out with their most recent devlog, or newsletter, in which they discussed the newest hunter class, that being the Phantom. Now, the Phantom is your assassin, sort of stealth-based rush-in and rush-out fighter, and all of their stats and armor will be reminiscent of such. You can expect to rush in, commit to some burst damage, and then get out of there. Your weapons will likely accommodate this as well. We also get some gameplay of Luna, a previously revealed dog Nanim, and Kapoki, a cat Nanim that we showcased in this segment last week. If you are interested in the video of the new gameplay trailer, it is linked in the description of this video, and I've already recorded a video going over the newsletter, which will be out either tomorrow or Tuesday, just depending on what kind of craziness this week decides to bestow upon me. Nuumonsters, a retro-style GBC-inspired monster taming RPG, has just released on Steam, and we did a stream playing the game earlier this week, which you could also definitely check out, linked in the description. Everything's linked in the description. It was honestly a lot of fun though. While the game definitely has some improvements to be made, it is still in early access, and I'm very excited to have joined that journey. Now, speaking of games and their releases, Geneforge 1 Mutagen will be releasing on February 24th on Steam, and I have a stream planned for either that day or the following day, once again, depending on how things play out this week, playing the game. I look forward to playing with you guys, and I honestly want to stream more because chatting with you guys and sort of playing is so much fun. The last couple streams we had were just amazing, so thank you guys again. Nor, the developer of Final Stardust, recently showcased this unnamed Planos, and recently released a devlog in which he discussed the game's voice acting, some new spells in-game, the backgrounds, some new game sprites, and more. That video will be linked in the description as well. It has a lot of interesting information, so definitely definitely check it out. Now, you might have joined me for our stream of Nintendo's most recent Direct, and I know a lot of people were disappointed, not even because of Pokemon, because I personally didn't expect it to be within the Direct, but more so because of either Shin Megami Tensei or Monster Hunter Stories. Neither were even mentioned in the Direct, same with Rune Factory. That being said, it has been confirmed that there will be a Monster Hunter digital event in which we will get information regarding Monster Hunter Rise, and more importantly for this channel, Monster Hunter Stories. So I really wanted to stream the event, but unfortunately I am working that day, but do expect in-depth coverage the following day of the event, and hopefully we get some interesting stuff. It's going to take place on March 8th. The Monster Fighter YouTube channel recently uploaded a video showcasing the various ways in which you can train your monster. There are a variety of mini games in which you could play and will yield different results depending on your performance by the looks of it. I will link the video in the description. In Patch Quest news, Liam continues to change up the various pins within the game and has showcased a few different ones that will be made available. We also get a few images of new mini-boss dungeons, and overall the game continues to progress smoothly with that early access launch getting closer. A game we've recently introduced to the channel last week, being Amber Roots, has a new devlog showcasing and talking about his plans for the game's combat system. He compared the perspective system with old school Final Fantasy or perhaps Dragon Quest. It'll act as a party-based RPG. The devlog also showcases some of the game's UI amongst other things. The full devlog is about 13 minutes long, so you could definitely feel free to check it out. It'll be linked in the description. So we do have some No Man's Sky news. Now, if you haven't been in the loop, you might be wondering why I'm even talking about No Man's Sky. It's not a monster taming game. Well, if it wasn't a monster taming game before and it's still not a monster taming game now, it's definitely like a Mon Light at this point, standing next to games like Ark and Far Cry Primal for its monster taming elements. The game recently had a companion update which allows you to breed various monsters and alter their genes. It seems to utilize some sort of algorithm to allow for a seemingly infinite amount of monster combinations. You can utilize companions as mounts to help you do various tasks and more. There's a lot more that goes into this update, and I could honestly spend an entire video talking about it, and oh, guess what? I did exactly that in this video, which will be linked in the description. I think the main takeaway here is that the larger developers are starting to take note of the uprising in the monster taming genre, and I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see more and more games either getting updates or coming out that are very high budget monster taming projects. A friend of mine once told me that AAA developers don't tend to come up with their own trends, they oftentimes follow what's going on. Now, I'm not saying that's the case with No Man's Sky, but in general, as it pertains to the sort of bigger budget studios, I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see more monster taming projects pop up in the upcoming years. Okay, so next up I wanted to showcase some games that have recently got my attention, the first of which is Witchery Academy, a game that has you attending classes, collecting these spell monsters, farming, brewing potions, and more. The game seems to be essentially a witch-themed farming sim with monster taming, and it's pretty unique in that the spells are actually the monsters that you can tame. I'll leave a link to their YouTube channel in the description if you want to check them out. Next up is Zokai, which is short for Zoological Yokai, which is described as a retro monster catching game with an open world that has a very interesting mechanic where it'll have these different Roman numerals scattered throughout the map to sort of warn the player of the more difficult areas. So while you can go anywhere, you must use caution in the advanced sections of the game. The game does seem to be very early development, but from what I've seen, I'm hooked. From the Mon designs to the overworld sprites, I can't wait to see this game progress, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. The third and final game I wanted to touch on for this week isn't actually a video game, but instead a tabletop game called Anim Story. Zach, the creator, had reached out to me, and after seeing some of the game's art and concept, I couldn't help but at least showcase the game, as I think it's pretty cool. If you don't know what a tabletop game is, think about something like Dungeons and Dragons. Anyway, the game describes itself as follows. In this tabletop RPG, you take on the role of kids who team up with their very own monsters called Animon. When they build their bonds, they each grow in strength and can unlock the power of Animon evolution. Players can create a kid character and their partner Animon characters who are distinct yet strongly linked by their bond of friendship. The human characters are defined by their many characteristics, while the creatures have different elements, natures, and signature attacks. So yeah, if you're interested in this project, feel free to follow Zach on Twitter. I'll leave his handle linked in the description as well. Alright, so as per the usual, we're going to kick it into overdrive with this week's rapid fire news, so let's do it. The Kindred Fates Awakening Alpha Tournament registration has begun. You can check out the Kindred Fates Discord to enter. Relegend has confirmed localization for the 10 languages you see on screen. We got some new second shiny variations for some of the monsters in Necromancer's Gift. We got 2 new clips for the upcoming title Eternal Exodus, being the beach and the prison. The developer has also confirmed that he's working on a demo with roughly 2 hours of gameplay. Reese, the developer behind Monster Tribe, a game we introduced to the channel last week, showcased the game's inventory system. Stratton Studios revealed a new image for their upcoming Halloween-themed monster taming project, and this one's titled Friend or Foe. Pokemon Unite's Alpha is coming to Canada in March for those interested. And finally, last but not least, we have a new Abomination, Biome, and Track, so let's take a quick listen. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this week. Over the past couple weeks, we've definitely added a lot of games to the channel. We're currently sitting at over 70 Monster Taming games that I regularly check for news. And those are just the games with upcoming information. That doesn't include all the classics I'm planning on covering in their own segments in the future as well. As per the usual, if you do want to stay up to date on all things Monster Taming, then you've come to the right place. Make sure to subscribe to get notified when these videos come out, and you can also follow me on Twitter at GymLeaderEd. We also have a Monster Taming Discord that's linked in the description, and my Patreon, where you can get some extra perks like having your name show up on the end screen like you see now, having your social media link in the description, etc. So yeah, check it all out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.